I guess maybe all of that is now prompting you to get into the next avatar of a full-fledged author. So I mean, the bird that was there behind you all this while. We've been talking, and that was reminding me. There's a bird that is whispering, saying, "I think yeah, this author is bringing out a nice, very forward-looking book very very soon." Is there anything that you could share with us, sir, at this
Yeah,
moment?
no, glad you raised that, and I'm very happy to tell you that finally I have managed to write a book, and Penguin Random House has decided to publish it, and
Okay.
they should be publishing it not later than July. It could be earlier than
Okay.
that in the next two
Okay.
months. The book is about future of work, but in
Okay.
the context of India.
Okay.
So I have number of um, points that I make in that book. Uh, I say that the future of work, at least some aspects of the future of work. Future of work comes with a number of issues
Yeah. Yeah.
around technology, around AI and robots and jobs and governance of those and many things,
Yeah.
including changes in the format of work, like remote work, hybrid
Sure.
work, work from anywhere,
Right.
work from home. So my first contention is in India is in a unique situation. It can always leapfrog by learning from the mistakes of the world, and by particularly considering its own unique demographic and economic conditions. India is a human capital intensive society. We have too many people and too little jobs. And so, indiscriminate application of technology, which kills jobs or doesn't create jobs, is not particularly good for India. We should not avoid technology, we should not avoid AI, but we should be careful and more discriminate about how to use it so that we continue to maintain some level of job creation. And so that we can talk about it. Let me kind of quickly summarize the key points. So basically, I'm saying the Western narrative of as is understanding of celebrating new skills, pressurizing people to get upskilled, and believing that jobs will be gone, but jobs will automatically get created, and that technology will be the panacea. We have to be a little more circumspect about those things. We should certainly believe some of them, but we should also see how it applies to our country. So that's one part of my narration,
Sure.
which is how do we more meaningfully shape the future of work to suit and address the unique needs of this country as it is emerging,
Okay. Okay.
and not
Okay.
blindly ape the given predominantly Western narrative.
Sure.
The
Sure.
second is how remote work, hybrid work, and flexible formats of work, how can they be a game changer in creating inclusive employment in our country? So the whole issue of why people have to migrate from villages to cities, why can't why should people go to jobs? Why can't jobs go to people? And how can we leverage the power of technology to take jobs go to the people? So if people didn't think of like that, India's IT industry today would not have been as big as this. So
Yeah.
somebody in New York, Boston, Texas, San Francisco believed, not today, 30 years ago, that it's okay for people to stay where they are in their hometowns in Bangalore, Bombay, and still work for us. So what were IT industry doing 30 years ago?
Yeah.
They were working from home for American companies, and
Absolutely.
that led to a whole transformation, and our industry changed. Now, interestingly, the same employer who was willing to render his work from home, now if he says that I have to, the Hyderabad employer says that I must get a person to work in Karimnagar, or a Bangalore guy sort of looks at it, says that I want to get it in Hubballi. We somehow are very hesitant. We our outsourcing has stopped at the level of the big cities. In the process, what has happened? Big cities have become very unlivable. In Bangalore, it takes 2.5 hours to go
Right.
anywhere. Commute is becoming a challenge. Cities are congested. Water is becoming a crisis. Life conditions and amenities are falling. Emissions are high. Pollution is high. We need to decongest our cities. That can happen only if we move active populations to smaller towns. And India has several layers of smaller towns: tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. In fact, all the way to tier 6, they have not yet discovered. But I can tell you, by the time we fully mature, we would have about 6 tiers of towns. And therefore, why should those people be penalized, first of all, to come and migrate to big cities and live in ghettos here? Or otherwise, why should the big city people be penalized to not have a good quality of life due to overcrowding? If we have to solve these bigger problems, there is no magic bullet. But one of the many means we have is to use this power of remote work
Yeah.
wherever. I'm not saying it's possible everywhere. I'm not saying it is, there are not difficulties with it, that we have a challenge in some people moonlight, some culture doesn't get built, some leadership doesn't get learned. I know the challenges. But on the balance of things and in the trade-off between optimizing things at a firm level and optimizing things at a national level, I believe post-COVID future of work offering around remote work and hybrid work is game changing and transformational for creating inclusive employment and bringing millions of labor market outsiders into formal employment, increase more decent jobs, etc. So my book makes a strong argument around how almost we should think of remote work as a national strategy for employment, as one of the alternatives. So all that, remote work is just one manifest. The final point the book makes is flexibility is the new currency of the world of work. That both
Beautiful.
technology, digital, and demography, young generation, Gen Z, all of them they do not want to lead lives that are too disciplined in the old sense, or that are too regimented, to use the right word, where you define everything and people have to just stick to what you define as an employer or as a powerful person. People want freedom. People want autonomy. People want self determination. They want discretion. They want to have a say. They want to have a voice. We must recognize that. And enabled by technology, that need is only growing rapidly. So it's in the interest of employers, managers, firms, industry bodies, and policymakers to look at the flexible work models of the future. And that's what future of work offers. How do we bring
Beautiful.
that into India and kind of really take our corporations and jobs and employment to its next orbit is the argument of this book.